Good morning, everyone. Yes, today we are here to discuss on the topic, and the topic is HRM. As you can see, the topic human resource management. The human resource management. What do you understand by the word human resource management? If I ask you, if somebody asks you, what is human resource management? How will you explain that? What is human resource management? Human resource management is a part of management which is considered with people at work and with their relationship within the organization. That means how many people are working in the organization and their relationship with the organization. The organizational status is what is recorded. It is actually bringing together men and women who make up an enterprise. Actually, these people are together accountable and they together comes in to start up an enterprise. One more thing which can be written for this is these people are having these men and women who are actually working in the organization have the best contribution to its success, because you know what, it's the people or the employees who are working in the organization who are responsible for the success of the organization. If I say success means what, that means the organization is doing better, it is doing the profit, there are no losses, things are going in a proper way, all the company is forming the assets. That means the company is avoiding the liabilities. There's no liability in the company. There will be liability, of course, but then it has been checked. It's not that assets over liability, or it's not that it's not liabilities over assets. So there will be always assets more than the liabilities. So we can talk about it, and then we'll be moving. One definition, obviously, HRM definition is there in the book. You can see one definition has to be learned. It's basically as a process of procuring human labor, process of finding out people, doing things in that way, and all together are working together nobody is an individual. All individuals are working together and forming a group sort of a thing, and that is called, they are working as a group. So if you see, you can see human resource management is a part of management which is considered with people at work and with their relationship within the organization. It seeks to bring together men and women who make up an enterprise, enabling each other to make best contribution to its success, both as an individual as well as a working group. That means only one person is not getting a success. It's not basically for an individual, it's also for a group. That means together we are forming a group and we are doing things. Now I'm moving to the next slide, and the next slide is the characteristic of human resource management. As you can see the figure, the slide is there on the screen. You can see the slide. Characteristic of human resource management. The first one, HRM involves management functions. You know what are the management functions? The PODSCOP, the planning, organizing, directing, controlling, staffing, all these are management functions, and so on and so forth. Second, it involves procurement, development, maintenance of human resources. It helps to achieve individual, organizational and social objective. That means it's not only fulfilling individual objective, it's also fulfilling in the organizational objective. It's also fulfilling the social objective. Point number 4, HRM is a multidisciplinary subject. It includes the study of management psychology. So what are the things included in HRM? Management psychology, communication, economics, sociology, all these things are included in the management. And number 5, it involves the team spirits and the teamwork. That means without the team spirit, without the teamwork, nothing can be done. No work is complete without the team spirit and the teamwork. Have I made myself clear? Okay, now I'm moving to another topic, importance of human resource management. Importance, why? That means if I ask you why is it important? Now, what are the importance of HRM? So the first point you see is human resource management is important to all the managers. There are so many other functions because of the following reason. They hire the right person for the job. These points are not there in the book. I'm giving you some extra points so you can add up in your things and you can write them down as well. and note them down at the same time. Point number 1, hiring the right person for the job. That means you are having right person who is going to do the job. Point number 2, low attrition rate. That means the labor turnover will be less, the people separation will be less, there will be less number of removal of employees, there will be less number of resignation, there will be less number of dismissal of employee rather. The next point, ensure people do their best. This is a function of HRM, that they see that the people are doing the best, the employees are doing their best. Point number 4, time saved is in not conducting useless interviews. That means you are not bothered now to look after the useless interviews. The things are going in a proper way. Nothing is going haywire. Avoid legal action for any discrimination. That means if HRM importance is this point also, that means you avoid any legal action. If suppose there are discrimination, you don't need to go for legal action or legal law. Then we have safety laws are not ignored. Again, what is happening? The safety laws are taken care of. We are taking care of the safety laws. Then we have the equity towards employee in relation to salary. That means employees are given proper salary on time. That is a fair distribution of salary and pay. Next is effective training is given to employees. Employees are given effective training, and it avoids unfair labor practices. That means unfair labor practices is also avoided, because when you are doing things through HRM, you are doing things through human resource management, then what happens? You will have a fair labor practices. You will not have unfair labor practice. Okay. Have you understood this point? I believe you have finished up the question answers of the previous lessons we have done. We have already completed 4 lessons, and now we have moved to lesson number 5. And I believe you have all finished up the rest of the lesson, question answers, everything is done. Nothing is left undone, right? So kindly complete everything. Don't leave anything for the last moment. And I think that's much for this slide. Now we move on to another slide, and you can see what we are doing in this slide, how things are going up in this slide. We have this importance of HRM being done for you. Now I'm moving to, before moving to the next slide, I must tell you the question answers have been given, this worksheets were given to you, there are lots of assignments been given to you. I believe all have done those assignments. Everything is done so far. Don't leave anything for the last moment. This is class 12, right? So complete everything beforehand and be more serious. Don't think that your exam will not be there. You will have your exams in the next year. So for the coming session you are studying, right? So you need to do things beforehand. Don't leave anything. Okay. Now we are moving to the next slide, and that is human resource management as a central subsystem of organization. Can you see that figure there? Yeah. How many of you can visualize? Okay. Click on that. Switch on. Put your hand on that figure, and then you can see the first one is a bank history and promotion. The second is a pay rates. Third is the documentation. Fourth is assigned equipment. Fifth is training and certification, special skill, contact information, time banks. So you can see this is the HRM central subsystems of organization. Though it's not very important for you to draw them and then learn them, but you just should know this point. This is not very important because it is not in the scope of your syllabus. So, but still you should know because it is needed. Now we move on to the next point, human resource as a competitive advantage. Competitive advantage is HR flexibility, human capital, HR options, and HRM as a dynamic capability. There's so many points. And competitive advantages, we have customer value, maintaining uniqueness, skills required for HRM competitiveness, then general manager skill, HRM professional skills, and HRM and strategy implementation, HR and the capacity of for change, human resources and strategic unity, all these things have to be taken care of. Now, that's not very important, as I told you. We'll be just seeing them. As I'm bringing the slide a little more closer for you. You can see this is competitive advantage through human resources. Competitive advantage includes customer value, maintenance uniqueness, under skill required for HRM competitiveness, we have general manager skill and we have HRM professional skills. So under HRM as a competitive advantage, we have these 2 points. You can learn any 2 points from here. It's not very hard and fast that you have to learn the same point. It's only the 2 points which we will be learning. Now, HRM is a competitive advantage. HRM and strategy implementation. That means you are implementing the strategy, you are making up the things are going, what is needed, you are doing it. HR and the capacity for the change. The first point is HRM and strategy implementation. Second point, HR and capacity for change, human resource and strategic unity. That means how much resources are needed by human. The unity part, the strategy part is important. Now, you can see this side as a competitive advantage. I'm increasing the size of this part, and you can see the advantage, human resource as a competitive advantage. Competitive advantage, we have HR flexibility, then we have human capital, investing in acquiring or developing new resources. Then you can see this side, we have reconfiguring the resource base. That means your resource base is being reconfigured. You are once again looking on to things, and HR options are there. This is not very important. You just have to see them, read them up. Even this is also not there in the scope of the syllabus, so you can just have a read or a practice over it. Now, I have made a little changes now. Anyway, for teaching we have this much for today. Now take out the register, everyone, and note down some question answers I'm giving you. Right on question number 1. Everyone take out the register and write down the question answers I'm giving you. Okay, question number 1. Give the meaning of HRM. Give the meaning of HRM. Question number 2. Define HRM. Question number 3. Question number 2. Define HRM. Question number 3. Question number 3. Question number 3. Give. Question number 3. Give the features of HRM. Give the features of HRM. Question number 4. What are the management functions? What are the management functions? Question number 4. What are the management functions? Question number 5. How is HRM a multidisciplinary subject? How is HRM a multidisciplinary subject? How is HRM a multidisciplinary subject? Question number 6. Question number 6. HRM helps to achieve which 3 objectives? HRM helps to achieve which 3 objectives? Question number 6. HRM helps to achieve which 3 objectives? Next, question number 7. Question number 7. Question number 7. Give 7 importance of human resource management. Give 7 importance of human resource management. Question number 7. Give 7 importance of HRM. Question number 8. Question number 8. Draw a skillful diagram for HRM. Draw a skillful diagram for HRM. Question number 8. Draw a skillful diagram for HRM. Question number 9. What do you mean by competitive advantage? What do you mean by competitive advantage? Question number 10. Question number 10. Give few points for competitive advantage. Question number 10. Give few points for competitive advantage. Question number 11. How can we say HRM as a competitive advantage? How can you say HRM as a competitive advantage? How can you say HRM has competitive advantage? Question number 11. Question number 11. What is HR flexibility? What do you mean by HR flexibility? Question number 12. How can you say HRM as a dynamic capability? How can you say or how can you prove HRM as a dynamic capability? HRM as a dynamic capability. Question number 12 was this. Question number 13. Draw a diagram to represent HRM. Draw a diagram to represent HRM. Draw a diagram to represent HRM. Have I made myself clear? Okay. So that's all. This much question for you. In this video, I'm not giving you any additional resource video. You just have to go through the topic. This is the first lesson of the book. Many of you must have bought the book, and you must have noticed I have done some lessons. Actually, those lessons which were a little easier to learn, I have picked those lessons first because you know what? Because without seeing the teacher's face and without interacting in the classroom, still you are learning, and obviously that's another effort you are doing. We can understand that at the same time. So for that reason, I have chosen those lessons which can be easily understood through the words of teacher without any proper explanation needed on the board. But for some lessons we need an explanation on the board, especially for lesson number 2 as well. We need explanation to calculate how to calculate the manpower estimation and all. So for that we need the blackboard to show you everything. So right now I'm not doing lesson number 2, so that's why I'm skipping and doing things. So we are seeing how we can do. So lesson 1 we have doing, and by the next class we'll be finishing lesson number 1. So don't panic. Lesson number 2 will be done to you. Don't worry. We'll be doing it later. 1, then we'll have done so many other lessons. 3 is done, 4 is done, 5 is done. So ultimately we are doing it so slow and steady wins the race. So don't panic. Yes, but you do your part of work. Your part of work is to complete the thing. Learning work is to be done. Writing work is to be done. More and more emphasis on writing work has to be done. You are in class 12. If you develop the habit of writing things, and make sure when you're writing, it should be having a keywords, and nothing should be left unattended. All the things have to be mentioned. The keyword is very, very important. Don't leave anything like that. Mark everything. Keep pointing out, write extra points. Council don't want, if suppose the 6 marks question, sometimes council will ask you only 3 points, but that inner point, that caption and then the explanation of the caption is important. So they'll give you 1 marks for the caption and 1 marks for the explanation along with the keywords. That if you're not giving that, that is a problem. So right from the very beginning, take things seriously. All the easier lessons have been done so that you don't miss out a lot. Even if you read it, you'll understand, and just listen to the notes explanation, you'll understand everything. Okay, and that's all for today. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.